Hey everyone, are you ready? We are on for a weekend wild card today. We will do some splitsy things, so more like hamstring, stretching, strengthening, that type of stuff. If you already know that the floor is far away from you when you do a forward fold, go ahead and have maybe like a water bottle handy, one or two, so that you can push off of it to bring the floor closer to you, but you don't need any equipment for sure. Just you being here or doing this later is awesome. Hamstrings, I always feel, are a wonderful place to stretch out, and we sometimes overlook them just because we're focused on hips and other things. So some splitsy things, Ellen, today, and we'll go ahead and get started in just a bit. So working on kind of not only the passive version of getting our hamstrings nice and long and stretched out, but also seeing if we can keep our leg up and hold a position and build some strength from there as well. So a little bit of passive, but also plenty of active, because oftentimes we're able to like sit down and let gravity help us in, let's say, splits. But when it comes to keeping our leg up in the air, it's a different story altogether. So working a little bit of the passive, of course, but also plenty of the active as well. So let's go ahead and try that out. The music again today will just be sort of background music. We're not doing anything to the beat or anything. But let's go ahead and get started. So let's start here just in a comfortable seat actually. So I like to always cross my what I consider my slightly tighter hip. So that's my left side, that left leg in front, because I feel like this just gives it some extra time to hang out in this sort of more aggressive or slightly more aggressive stretch relative to my right side. This is my opinion though, whether or not that actually is the case remains to be seen, but I think like more time spent in this fashion is helpful, I think, in my mind for this left side, which tends to be my tighter side. Okay, so let's just take a couple of breaths here. Full deep inhale, lengthen up tall. Exhale, relax your shoulders, stay tall. One more time, then inhale, full deep inhale. And exhale. Good. Keeping your right foot sole against your left leg, just send your left leg out, or whichever leg that is actually, I should say. And then square up over your left-hand side. I'm just gonna start saying left. So if you're on the other side, do the other side for sure. Flex your left foot back toward your face and square up. Lengthen up tall and hinge. Right, these are just mild stretches to start. I like my hands in this position, but if you're like, hey, I definitely need some extra assist back behind, it gives me more leverage, do that for yourself for sure. Open your chest, lengthen out through your spine. These are very mild to start. Hold for 4, flex your foot for 3, lengthen out through your spine, 2, and 1, gently come up. Get your left arm perpendicular to your left leg, shoulder inside, and then reach your right arm up and over. Now, not only do you want to find that right side obvious stretch, but lengthen out through your left side body as well. Reach. Think of dropping your right hip back down so it's not completely elevated. Open up through your chest a little bit more. Use your left hand to help pull your left shoulder forward. Good, gently come back up. All right, from this place, we're just doing a little hinge forward. Come onto your right knee. I'm gonna be out of screen in just a sec, but once you're there, flatten out your left foot against the floor. And this is kind of weird, I'm scooting back a little bit. So once your left foot is flat, I want you to square up toward your left leg and then hinge forward over your left leg. So it's a little bit of an awkward position and very easy to round. If you feel like the floor is super far away from you, use 2 water bottles to push yourself away and then flatten over. Good. Again, this is kind of a weird stretch, but I like the feeling of stretching outside of my left leg here. And again, do what you need to do to square up and to lengthen out through your spine. Hold for 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. Gently crawl yourself forward and then lift yourself up. Good. Crawl your fingers down your left leg. Reach your right arm up and over for a side body stretch. Now similarly, you find your obvious right side body stretch. Your left side though, not completely collapsed, right? Lift a little bit so you find some strength and then reach up and over. Open your chest. Hold right here for 4, 3, 2, gently come up, good. And then from here, flex your left foot up toward the ceiling and square up. So I'm gonna move my right foot back behind, find a good position here. Go for some length in your spine. I'm gonna scoot a little bit actually more so you can see the length in my spine. Not too exaggerated. I've told you before my thing tends to be that I overarch, right? So if that's you as well, notice that and find some length as opposed to overarching. But I would get, if I had to guess, I would say more people probably have the issue of rounding as opposed to overarching. So we wanna find a good, even, balanced place. From here, we're doing some cat-cows. So a little bit weird, but inhale, open your chest, draw your shoulders back, deliberately squeeze your blades. Exhale, round, deliberately round your blades. Separate, feels good. Good again. Inhale, open your chest, push your right hip forward, draw your left hip back, squeeze your blades. Exhale, round, separate your blades. That separating of my blades feels so good right now. Twice more. Inhale, open your chest, tilt your head a little bit. And exhale, go round. Oh, so nice. Last time, inhale. As you do this inhale, I want you to stick your tail out. Flex hard your left foot. You should feel a really nice stretch to the backside of your left hamstring already. And exhale, round. Very nice. From this place, return back to neutral. Step your left foot flat onto the floor. And then tuck your back toes in so you're just in low lunge. I'm gonna scoot back a little bit, open your chest. From here, let's shift forward into L. So transfer your body weight forward, square off your hips. So notice long spine still. If you find that your spine is rounding, the floor is far away, again, bring yourself up to your water bottle so it feels a little bit more accessible. From here, right hand to the center, or sorry, right hand to your hip. Feel how square you are. Now use your fingers to draw your right hip open. Yeah, stack your shoulders. And then re-square. So super, super deliberate here. Again, open. Use your fingers to help guide the way. Right hip stack on top of left. Flex your right foot. Good. Square it off again. If you're feeling super adventurous today, lift your left hand off of the floor. And then again, guide your hip open. This will give you some added balance challenge. Re-square. Ooh, I almost lost it. And we just have one more, so that'll make it a total of 4. Open up again. Draw your right hip back. Stack. Hip over hip. And again, if you feel confident, start to change your eyes maybe to the screen, maybe even up top toward the ceiling if you're feeling it. Woo! And I lost it. All right, re-square, hold. Return your right hand down to the floor. Notice that you're pretty square. From this place, continue to face your right toes, right hip down toward the floor. Send your right heel up even higher. Again, we're just warming up here, so it might not be super high. That's just fine. From your maximum place, let's give it 8 pulses. Go 8. Keep square. 7. You got it. Go 6. We're almost there. Open your chest. 5. 4 more. Lift your heel. Go 4. Go 3. Twice more. 2. And 1. Hold your max. Lift your bottom heel. 8. Lower down. You feel something in your left hamstring working. 7. Lower down. Pick up your left heel. Go 6. Check your right toes are square. Lower. And again, go 5. Open your chest. Lower. Lengthen out through your spine. 4 more. Keep your heel up. 4. Lower. 3 more times. You got it. 3. Lower down. Twice more now. 2. Lower down. Separate your heels, guys. 1 more time. Go lift and lower down. Bend your right leg. Point your right toes. Lift your left hand off of the floor. Reach all the way around. Grab your right foot. And then send your right knee up toward this ceiling. Kick your knee away from your other knee. You separate as much as possible. Open your chest. Kick, kick, kick. Kick over 4. Kick over 3. Kick over 2. Are you so over this hamstring thing? 1. Gently let go. Not like me. So gently let go and step back into the low lunge. Find your place. And then bring your left foot back. We'll move into high plank real quick. Find your place. Push your chest away. Hold. Belly in tight. Hold for 4. Yes. 3. Hold for 2. Hold for 1. Good. Bend your left leg down and we'll let ourselves sit down onto our left butt cheek. Send your right foot over your left knee. Drop your right butt cheek down. Right hand close with your base. Lift your left arm all the way up high. Get your left armpit outside of your right leg. Lift your chest up. Belly in nice and tight. Twist. Look past your right shoulder. Hold right there for 4. For 3, lift up tall. For 2. For 1, gently untwist. And perfect, your left leg is already there. Let's move this right leg straight. Flex your right foot back toward your face and let's square up. So when you square up, you can decide whether you want your hands forward of your left leg or back behind, whatever feels sort of more natural to you. For some reason, I like my hands more forward. Hinge, lengthen. Really think instead of when you forward fold, instead of going down, think about lengthening open, right? So I always imagine my chest, my front side area is like a set of blinds that I'm opening up, right? A set of window blinds that I'm lengthening out. Lengthen out the crown of your head. Notice if your chin tends to go out, right? Keep your neck in neutral. Flex hard through your right foot. Good, and then gently let's release. Take your right arm, perpendicular right leg. Send your shoulder inside. And then notice this twist, right? So you can kind of be passive here, but if you actively press into your right palm and lengthen up out of your waist, you should find a little bit more twist for yourself. Reach your left arm up and over. And this feels really nice, not only for your left side body, but also that lift on your right side body. And it's funny for these stretches, they're easy to kind of do them, it's easy to do them in a very like, oh, look, I'm just doing this stretch type of fashion, kind of going through the motions of it. But you really want to keep it active and feel something. And gently come out. Good. As we hinge forward, you come up onto your left knee, press your right foot flat against the floor, lift. Good. And then from here, you're facing your left-hand side. We're gonna square up over this right leg and walk it forward, right, best you can. Notice on your initial walk, you can already probably see my spine's kind of rounded here. I need to square up just a bit more. You see that difference? It's just quite subtle, but you want to find that for yourself. So the entire time, you're finding a very active position. And just like anything else in life, this stretch will give you as much as you give it, right? So again, it's easy to go through the motions, which I totally get. Like just getting yourself to stretch is already a big deal. But if you can afford to like kind of be more active about it, I guarantee you'll feel quite a bit more and experience quite a bit more as well. So I feel a nice little stretch through the outside of my right leg. Good. Let's gently lift ourselves up. And from here, crawl your right fingers down your right leg, any amount, but taking care this right side stays lifted as you reach up and over. Find your left side body stretch. And for me today, I guess I worked a little bit this left side chest area. I feel a little bit of opening, loosening up there as well. It just happens to be the case. Lengthen, lengthen, lengthen. I didn't feel that on the other side. Good. One more breath, reach. And gently return. So we just flex this right foot back toward our face, and I'm gonna reposition this left foot so I can square up. And I'm gonna again do it toward this side. It's easy once your hands drop down to the floor for your spine to look rounded, be rounded, like mine is at the moment. So we just wanna take care, not to overarch, but to lengthen out. Draw your right hip back, push your left hip slight forward, And you'll start to sort of notice more in your own body what your body tends to do. So what my body tends to do is open up through my chest, but maintain this hump. So I need to do a little bit more tilting without overarching my up back, right? So I think every body is a little bit different in terms of what habits you tend to kind of find in your own body, and just notice them, right? So we have those cat-cows. Inhale. As you inhale, draw your shoulders back, open your chest, really stick your tail out best you can. Exhale, deliberate, round, hollow. Separate your blades. Yes. Again, inhale, open your chest. Tilt your tail, flex hard your right foot. And round, exhale, round. Pull your navel in tight, separate your blades, and really firm up your arms so you can push the floor away here, or push your water bottles away. Again, inhale, open your chest. Flex hard your right foot. And round, go round. Ah, feels so good. One more time, inhale. As you do this inhale, lower your shoulders away from ears, open your chest, and really deliberately stick out your tail, flex hard your right foot. So much activity in the backside of your right leg, hopefully. Round again. This is your final. When you round, notice if it's your shoulders that are hiking as opposed to just separating. And then find yourself back in center. From here, moving into that low lunge. So plant your right foot down, and then I'm just gonna scoot a little bit. Find your place. All right, moving into your L, shift forward. Find your left leg up. And your left toes, notice left hip, you drop it down, and in turn, your left toes face down as well. From here, keep your right hand down, left hand on your left hip, right? Guide it, open your chest, and lift. Your left leg, you wanna make sure it's at least hip height. Feel that openness of your hips, stack. Good, and then re-square. Ooh, I'm losing it. Square, open your chest here. Do that again, go, open. Take care that your left leg still maintains its height. Good, and re-square. If you're feeling confident, ambitious, all those wonderful things, maybe you pick up your right hand off of the floor just for funsies, and then still guide your left hip with your left hand. Open up your hips. Yes, open up your shoulders. Re-stack, re-square. Good. And then we do that one more time here. Go open. Yes, gorgeous. And square it off again, square. Good. And then lower your right hand down, lower your left hand down. Send your left leg up, maybe a little bit higher. I'm gonna do this from this side now. So check in with your spine, really. It'll tend to want to round, lengthen out as you hinge. From this place, we have 8 of those pulses. Lift your left heel up. Go 8, go 7. When you release, try not to release too much. 6, I definitely released too much. And 5, shoulders away from your ears. And 4, separate your heels. Go 3, 2 more, 2, and 1. Keep your heels separated, and let's lift this right heel off of the floor. So here we go. Lift your right heel up and lower down. Do it again. Go up, take care, open your chest, lower down. Keep your hips square. Go lift up through your right heel and lower down. Lift your right heel, go up, lower down. You have 4 more. Let's do it. Lift, lower. 3 more. Go 3. I feel it in my right hamstring for sure. Lower. 2 more times. Go 2. Lower. Last time. Go lift and lower. Wonderful. Point your toes. Bend your left leg. And then reach your right hand for your left foot. Separate your knees for me. Think of kicking your left knee up toward the ceiling. Sometimes I hesitate to use the word kick because you don't want to move so fast that you lose the balance right away. All right, continue to separate your knees. Hold right here. Hold for 4. Kick, kick, kick for 3. Separate your knees. For 2. And for 1. Wow, that right hamstring. Release it, soften your base leg, and let's just step back into the low lunge. Perfect. Firm up your arms. Again, we just step this right foot back into the high plank real quick. Push away your chest. Hold right here. Hold for 4. Hold for 3. Hold for 2. Lower your knees down to the floor. Easy. No big deal. We're not doing core today. All right. So lower your right hip down. Put your left foot over your right knee. Bring your left hand close to the base. Lift your right arm all the way up high, and then get your right armpit outside of your left leg. Notice your left butt cheek might lift up like mine just did. Drop it back down, but remember it's not sitting on your right heel. It's just sitting on the floor. Lift up tall, belly in, and then twist. Look past your left shoulder. Twist right here. Good. Hold for 4. Keep this even active here. 3, 2, 1, and then gently release. Good. From this place, move into a straddle. So send your feet out wide. We're a little bit more warmed up, so I want you to kind of go right away to your place where you feel pretty darn good, right? Lift up nice and tall. If you're struggling to find this upright position, of course, hands back behind you is a great way to lift up. And then from here, staying super tall, let's start to face this left leg, right? No matter how split your feet are, I want you to find that lift, that length, and that squaring up. Hinge. As you hinge, keep your toes facing up toward the ceiling, and then notice if your right butt cheek is lifting off of the floor. Best you can, bring it back down, square up. Hold right here, lengthen out through your spine. Hold for 4, that's it. Shoulder is away. For 2. For 1, crawl yourself through center, whether that's on your elbows or on your hands. Maintain that length in your spine. So you're crawled now over to your right leg and square up. For me, sometimes I'm like stuck when I'm low, super not square at the moment. So I need to lift up to feel the ability almost to square up. Maybe you're not having that situation, but for me, it feels like a little bit easier to lift up out of it and then re-square and come down. And also one thing that I notice is as I'm like hinging over to my right leg, that this left leg starts to tilt inward, right? So keep your left leg very deliberately turned outward, so your left toes face up toward the ceiling, and then again your left butt cheek, drop it down. So as much as you're forward folding, sometimes I feel like I'm almost like pushing or creating some tension away from the floor in order to drop my left butt cheek down. There's this like weird push-pull, tension, yin-yang business going on. And then let's crawl through center again. So wherever you are in the center position, let's say you're on elbows, that's awesome. You stay there, or you can start to army crawl yourself forward. Notice how long my spine is though. Notice how my toes totally wanted to do this. Gotta rotate out, yeah. If you're like sitting up here and it's kind of difficult, you're kind of working toward a long spine, that's perfect. Your feet are probably a little bit closer and that's just fine. Use your hands behind you to lift yourself up very tall and feel decompression whether you're upright or you're coming down low, right? So especially if you're upright, use your hands to really firm up and lengthen, right? Decompress this low spine area and then actively push yourself forward. If you're all the way down here, you might feel a bit more loosening if you do this little right-left action. I kind of like it. It feels really good to me. Just notice again what your legs are doing. If they start to internally rotate, start to draw them back again so you feel that length. Okay, so wherever you are, let's go halfway, 45 degrees best you can. So your hands might be in front of you, your hands might be behind you. I want you to find that place wherever you are, and we're gonna do some cat-cows. So inhale, open your chest. I'll do some cat-cows with my hands in front and cat-cows without, or with the hands behind. And then round, very deliberate rounding. Drop your shoulders away from your ears, think about hollowing out. Inhale again, open your chest, find that 45. Really deliberately open up through your chest, just as in Sphinx. And let's do that round, go round. And we have 2 more here if your hands are behind. Inhale, open your chest, allow your chest to melt forward, draw your shoulders back. And then exhale, round. You can certainly just bring your hands off the floor and just do a traditional round. One more time. Inhale. You might need this leverage of your hands back behind to open up your chest. Think chest though, not belly, so it really taps into your up back. Good, and then round. More traditional. Good, let's find 45 again. If your hands are back behind, I want you to start to test the waters. So using a little bit less of your hands to help support you. If you're able to find the 45, just hold that 45. Hold right here for 4. Check in with your toes. Hold for 3. Hold for 2. Hold for 1. Face your left leg at that 45-degree hold. So you're deliberately keeping yourself up higher, especially if you can go down low. You're deliberately keeping yourself up high. Hold for 4, 3, 2. Come back through center, lengthen out through your spine. And then go out to the right-hand side. Square up. Hold right here. Hold for 4, 3, 2, 1. Come back through center. Yes, one more breath, lengthen. Come all the way up. All right, bring these legs, your feet back and close. We did our left leg to start, so we'll bend up our left leg once again. Grab the back of your thigh, nice, easy. And then just send your left leg up. All right, you have the full support of your arms to help you. Bend it back again. Keep your knee right where it is. Straighten. Lengthen out through your spine. Bend. Good, you have 2 more like this. Keep your knee pulled in close to your chest. Bend. One more time, go straighten. All right, as much as you're using your strong arms, we're gonna let them go. Hold right here, hold for 4, hold for 3, hold for 2, hold for 1. This time, grab the outside of your left foot. Grab the inside of your left foot, and then bring your leg in even closer. So if you're working toward a straight leg, you're still working toward a straight leg, of course. If your leg is straight already and your arms are straight, you gotta bend these arms, really use the strength of your arms to help build your flexibility. And we're just hanging out here. Notice how much you lean back. There might be a little bit of a tilt back for sure, but just notice if you're letting it all be weight driven, right? So if it's weight driven right now, for instance, I don't feel anything in my left hamstring. Not even joking, legit nothing, right? But if I lift up tall through my chest, relax shoulders down, all of a sudden my spine is quite a bit more activated. And in this position is a deeper hinge, and I definitely feel something. Hold right here. All right, we have 8 pulses with your arms assist. So let's go bend and lengthen out. Go 7, lengthen. If your leg is bent, you're working straight. 6, yeah, and go 5, release. 4 more, chest up. 4, how tall can you be? 3 more. Go 3, and return. Twice more. 2, last time. 1, hold. Hold your maximum. If your leg was straight, your arm should be bent. If you were working on straight, your leg should just be straight with straight arms is perfect. Now, you're gonna try to keep your left leg right here. Hopefully this is a lot closer than what we just did with our hold, right? So see what you can do now without the assist of your arms. Flex hard your left foot, lift up tall through your chest, prepare mentally, and when you're ready, we let go. Oh, mine already dropped. Hold for 4, For 3, try to bring it in closer. For 2, for 1, gently lower yourself down. It's not super easy, huh? Like the moment you let go, sometimes your leg is just like, I'm done. All right, so we're just practicing it. It's no big deal. So as you lean back, bend your right leg, we'll just grab the back side of our right thigh. Keep your knee where it is. You have kind of some slow ones here. Lift up tall through your chest and go straighten and bend. So go to a place, it might be even here, where you can straighten out your leg entirely. These are a little bit slower. Bend. And you have the help of your arm, of course. Arms. Twice more. Straighten and bend. Last time we have straighten, and we're holding this one. And probably underneath your palms, you already feel, right, your hamstring really working quite a bit to keep your leg up here. Get ready to let go. Hold for 4. For 3, lengthen out through your crown. For 2. For 1. Good. Grab your right to the right. Left to your right. Lift up tall through your chest. So actually, I'm gonna scoot over it like this. So the moment you grab your foot, look at my spine is kind of rounded, my shoulders are kind of hiked. The moment I lift up taller through my chest, I drop my shoulders down, I already feel something in my hamstring. So we want to go to that place where we do feel that something, even though sometimes feelings are hard to swallow. So if you're working on a straight leg, you know what to do. You're going from the bent leg position where you probably are right now and moving into a straight. If your arms and your leg are straight, we're moving in to bent arms. You have 8 of these. Ready? Go. 8. Drop your shoulders. And 7. Go. 6. Go. 5. Go. 4. Lift up tall through your chest. Feel something. Go. 3. Go. 2. Oh gosh, I feel so much already. And go. 1. And the thing is, I know I have a little bit more to go. So I can drop my shoulders a little bit more and I can lift my chest a little bit more. And all of that creates even more feeling through the backside of my right leg. So let's mentally prepare for it then. You can see my arms, and probably your arms as well, are working quite a bit to keep our leg up. We'll try our best though. Let's let go. Hold for 4, chest up. Hold for 3, hold for 2, hold for 1. Good. Let's swing this right leg back behind. So I'm sure you experienced it as well just now when you did your right leg lift, that your right quad felt like it might cramp up on you. Same. So let's do just a little bit of that stretchy thing. We'll just send our right leg all the way back. I'm a little bit split open. You can have it out to the side if you prefer that. And then square up over your left leg. And just by simply squaring up, you should feel maybe a little bit of stretch through your right hip flexor. Probably not quad quite so much yet. We'll get to it though, I promise, because I certainly need it. Flex and then hinge. As you hinge here, it's very normal. Your right butt cheek lifts up off of the floor. I want you to focus more on the squaring up. So it's probably a little bit better, or easier I should say, to square up when you're up high versus down low and trying to re-square, because I feel like even as you're making the adjustment to the square position, I just feel like I'm still kind of over to the right more than I need to. So I personally prefer to square up while I'm tall, and then my belly button feels like it's kind of going in this trajectory where I want it to go. And in fact, to make sure we're super, super square, let's take this right hand to the outside of our left foot. And we'll use this as leverage as you pick yourself up to twist even deeper, and then bend your right arm as you flatten out over your left leg, best you can, right? Hold right here. Hold for 4, 3, 2, 1, and then gently pick yourself up. Okay. where our left butt cheek is definitely on the floor, we want to lift it up off of the floor. So as you start to straighten out your right leg back behind, you can do one of two ways. You can literally just roll into it if you feel like you're pretty splits ready. If you're like, what are you talking about? You can come back up into our half split, maybe a slightly wider half split, where you're on top of your right knee, but square up again. The benefit of coming up into this half split situation, for me at least, is I like to tuck my right toes in, and this helps me square up quite a bit, right? So I shouldn't say there's no room, but there's less room for cheating of opening up hips. So I like this whole position of lengthening out both of my legs and then starting to separate my feet. And then as your back knee goes down to the floor, I'm gonna stay tucked actually. As your back knee makes its way closer to the floor, think about your entire top side. So this side, top side of your right thigh, making its way on the floor. Not the inner thigh, but the top of your thigh. And then wherever you are, we'll go for a gentle hinge to start. Right, so gentle hinge. And if you can afford to do so, and remember you can do this if you're in half split as well. Take your right hand to the outside of your left foot, and we're gonna do that whole squaring up situation, pull yourself down. All right, you stay there. If you're up on your knee, I'm just gonna show you real quick. So let's say you're in half split and this is your max, that's perfect. Take your right hand to the outside of your left foot and still give me a gentle hinge. I'm super interested in the length of your spine, right? So, many people often ask, like, what's more important, right? Your long spine or your straight leg for your hamstring stretch? And both are important. And that's the difficulty sometimes in when you practice, like, what are you focusing on? It's kind of difficult to be like, oh, definitely focus on this and then worry about the other thing later. I think both are just as equally important. So take some time for one, take some time for the other. Feel, especially if you're in that full split, that you almost can drop your right hip flexor down to touch the floor even. And I personally find that hinging is quite a bit easier than actually uprighting your spine. So now that we've hinged for a long time, we gotta upright it. So I've untucked my back foot, and the feeling you want from the untuck is that it's the top of your right foot that's flat against the floor. All right, let's lift ourselves back up. Keep pretty square over your left leg, hands pretty close to your hips, and then I'm definitely still hinged, let's not lie. Lift yourself up quite a bit taller. And if you'd like to play around with lifting your arms, that's awesome. For me, I definitely feel that opening sensation start to happen if I do that. So I'm gonna stay with hands on the floor and work on lifting up through my chest. Okay, so for one more thing, if you are so inclined, you can start to bend up your back leg, if you're so inclined. But notice as I bend my right leg, my hips lift too. So see if you can maybe inch your right knee back farther if you're gonna go for this option, right? Maybe kind of experiment with, as you pick your right heel up, what's the situation going on with your hips? And then bend your right leg. Let's see if we might be able to take this left hand and just bring it in. I realize you can't see. So all we're doing is going for a little quad stretch here. So as I bend my right leg, I'm just gonna bring it in, right? And it's easy to start to open up. So again, really focus on the top of your right thigh, flattening out against the floor. Go little quad stretch. Hold for 4, hold for 3, for 2, for 1, gently release. All the things. All right, let's release out of this one if you can still move your legs. And we'll switch the sides. So your right leg is in front, lengthen it, and your left leg, you have it bent, and then separate your knees to what feels kind of nice, right? It might be that your left knee is out directly 90 degrees relative to your right. So if you're just doing what your body feels like naturally, you're probably facing more towards like inside of your legs as opposed to squaring up. So let's square up. You might come up off of your left butt cheek, that's just fine. And find yourself in a gentle hinge. really square up. I like to find my belly button and feel like my belly button is gonna go directly on this path, right? As opposed to going here and then changing. I guess it's kind of the same, but at the same time, I just feel my belly button's like stuck on the left-hand side. That's a weird thing to say, but that's literally what I feel. So you want to square out best you can. And that's the thing, it's like, as much as somebody looks at you visually, oh, you know, look at this person doing this, only you really know what you feel, right? And so make those adjustments so that you can feel those things and be pretty square in the best way that you can get square. From here, take your left hand, we'll go for the outside of our right foot. And then I like to use my right hand, I didn't mention on the other side. I like to use my other hand, free hand, to square up a little bit, push against the floor. So I'm lifted, my belly button's off of my thigh, and then I reposition myself so I'm even more square. It's so funny, like, can you even be more square? I don't know. That's just like something being true versus false. Something can't be more true. It's either true or false, right? If there's a little bit of false, it's not true any longer. So I think the same thing goes for square, but you know what I mean. A little bit more square, right? I have friends who are very, very literal, and so you cannot make these errors in front of them because they'll be like, that's not true, because there's a little bit of false in it, which by definition makes it false. And you're just like, you're right. All right, gently come back up. And then from here, we're gonna re-square. If you want to roll into your split, you're already there, that's awesome. If you prefer to go through the half split way, that's great. Just do exactly what we did earlier. Find your half split position. Maybe it's a slightly wider half split, right? Draw your right hip back, left hip forward. And then find that square position. I like to tuck my toes. If you're not tucking toes, that's great, no problem. I just like it for this squareness as well. And then start to separate your heels. And you'll notice that one side might be a little bit less accessible than the other. And for me, the biggest tell is that my backside leg, the top of my thigh, is more reluctant on this side, for instance, to face the floor. It totally just wants to face out. Okay, so best you can, you're drawing your right hip back. Push your left hip forward. And remember, you're still able to do this if you're on your half split situation. Shift a little bit weight into your right hand so you can grab the outside of your right foot with your left hand. Lift up tall and then hinge from there, best you can. Again, the trajectory you're going for is more this left hip, being able to even roll over to touch the floor. You can untuck toes, absolutely. Maybe you were already there. Find some length in your spine and open your chest. Top of your left foot on the floor, the top of your left thigh flat against the floor. Flex hard through your right foot. Good. And then gently lift yourself up. And again, I would argue that hinging forward is quite a bit easier than finding yourself in an upright position. Right now, I'm already like releasing my squareness, right? I'm not even facing my right leg, and I can definitely feel the arch side of my foot starting to make its way closer to the floor. So these little details start to really add up, and especially if you're on a slightly less accessible side, which I am definitely on right now, they are difficult to maintain, but you do the best that you can. Hands close with your hips, push. I would say that especially if it's quite difficult for this, I should really tuck my toes in, and then you might be able to square up a little bit more easily. All right, I'm gonna switch the sides real quick, or not the sides, the angle. We're gonna do that whole quad stretch business. So let's say you're right here, something like this. All right, if you wanna play around, just bring your heel in, and notice if I'm not really adjusting, as I bend my left leg in, my whole hip lifts up. So I'm gonna just see if I can maybe lower my hips just a little bit so that I can avoid that whole situation. All right, here goes. Bend your left leg. And if you can afford to do so, your left hand stays down, your right hand goes for your left foot, and you're doing a little bit of pressing action here. Again, it's a little bit tricky because the moment you start to press down, your left knee will start to veer out toward the left, and it's likely the case that your inner thigh starts to make its way closer to the floor. So that's certainly what happened to me. So I'm gonna re-square, try it again. If all of this is not working for you, you're like, this quad situation is not ideal, I want you to come, I'm gonna do it, don't worry, hold me accountable, I'm gonna do it again. But just in case that this is not your jam, you can do it this way, right? Our traditional one, which is leaning and then grabbing, right? This one you know for sure, if this gives you a better quad stretch. Okay, but I am not going to just wuss out of it. I was already halfway there. Let's try it again. So again, best you can, you're just trying to separate your feet, trying to get your hips as close to the floor as possible. And then while your hips are pretty close and the top of your left thigh, right, your quad is pretty darn flat against the floor, you pick up your left heel, pick up, grab it, and push down a little bit, and you'll feel that quad stretch. Hold for 4, hold for 3. This is not fun, guys. 2, 1, gently release, good. And let's gently unwind. So I'm just gonna shift over to that right side leg. Loosen up your legs a little bit, do what you need to do. And we'll go into a final quad stretch real quick. So we're gonna do it the way where you can use your other foot to assist you. I kind of like the ability to use your own body to assist yourself in an exercise, then you don't have to deal with excess props. So keep your left leg extended long. We'll just bend up this right one in half hero, your heel close with your bum, the top of your foot flat against the floor. So you're right on top, but make sure you're not sitting on your foot. And then slowly lower yourself down, right? One elbow, so left elbow down, right elbow down. Maybe you feel the quad stretch here already. Keep your right knee pressed down. And then maybe you can stomp your left foot down. Take yourself all the way down to the floor, top of head, and then back of head. And the reason I like this position is that it's really easy to re-square yourself. So once you're all the way down there, I like to do just a little bit of adjusting, of bringing my shoulders in closer toward each other and also closer toward my hips. So I'm creating quite a bit of an arch in my spine. And then this might offer you a pretty good quad stretch. You can also take your left foot up off of the floor and then maybe place it on top of your right foot for a quad stretch there. And then whether your foot is down or up, let's see if we can maybe lift this left foot up off of the floor. Maybe, I'm just gonna try, reach for your foot with your right hand, and then just move into a half lotus as well. So you have a half hero, a half lotus, and then best you can, you square up your shoulders so they're pressed evenly into the floor. And then listen, if you have the half lotus, I want you to give this a try, because why not? We're here. When you start to lift up your left knee, take your right hand to the outside of your left foot and see if you might be able to extend any amount. Oh, I'm moving out to the side here. So actually that might be the only way to access it unless you have super, super open hamstrings. Oh, maybe this works as well. This is quite aggressive, guys, with your left foot up toward the ceiling. But maybe you try, or you let your left foot drop out to your left, which offers me at least a pretty darn good quad stretch for my right leg. When you're ready to undo that, bend your left leg once again. And you can let go of it, let it sit down onto the floor. Use your elbows, help gently push yourself up off of the floor. And lift yourself up. Good. Not easy, but you did it. Free out your right leg. Give it some blood flow, all that wonderful stuff. And of course, we'll switch our sides. I think I'm going to stay facing in this orientation just so that you can see the other leg from a different angle. Okay, so let's try it then. Your right leg is freed. It's probably just getting its blood flow back, so it might have changed colors. My foot has changed colors. Shift your body weight over to your right a little bit. You're bending your left leg and moving into this half hero. Because you can't see it that well, I'll just give you a couple of reminders, which is that your left butt cheek is very, very close to your left heel, but you're not sitting on your left heel. Make sure you're sitting on the floor. And then just check for me that your left toes or your foot, I should say, is exactly parallel with your left thigh, not sickling inward. Yeah? Okay, from here then, gently lower your right elbow down, your left elbow down, nice and careful. And then remember, you might be staying here. It's weird for me though. I feel like sometimes just on the elbow position, I'm not able to get as deep of a quad stretch for myself. That feels like, like juicy and good. So you can decide what works better for you. And of course, if anything doesn't feel good at all, you come out of it. All right, once you're down there, bend this right leg so your right toes are kind of in line with your left knee. And then once you're all the way down there, top of head, back of head, use the leverage of your arms, your elbows, to kind of re-square up. So I do this little crawl of my elbows to get my shoulders even closer to my hips. And then earlier, when I didn't do that, my right knee was inclined to drop out to the right. I was able to re-square up, so I'm pretty square, both knees facing up toward the ceiling. You should be right on top of your left foot. So your ankle, especially if you do not like, your ankles don't like this, that's great. You want to be right on top of your foot and work it there. At any point in time, if you've broached the point of discomfort and it's moved on to pain, you got to come out of it, okay? All right, let's move on then. If you're still with me, right foot on top of your left thigh, maybe. And then take your left hand, maybe you crawl your left fingers toward your right foot and go from just a half hero to a half hero, half lotus. Right? Allow your right knee to drop. I feel like I start to lean a little bit to the right, but I still get a really nice quad stretch for my left hand side. If you'd like to try the next bit extension, this is slightly aggressive, so just again, be good to yourself, test your edge for sure, but let go when you need to let go. So I'm going to start to lift this right knee up. My left fingers now crawl to the outside of my right foot, and I'm going to try to extend my leg up first. This I found to be slightly aggressive on my left quad mainly. But I think with a lot of things as you experiment with them, and if you move slowly and you just take your time, oftentimes they'll surprise you. And then maybe drop your leg out to the right. I'm just gonna get my grip a little bit more secure and then return. I think what I've, for myself and my own training and everything, I've realized you can bring it out to the right again. A lot of times when I've worked things on the wall, like boulders, that I felt impossible, it's a matter of time, it's a matter of a little bit of patience, return to the top best you can. And some things are a lot less impossible or more possible than we think on initial glance. Start to bend your right leg in, and from here you can start to let go of your foot, lower your foot down, use your elbows to help push, lift yourself up. And it's just a little bit of experimentation, right? As you straighten out your right leg, lean over to your right, free out your left. Oh, my hair got real crazy in that. That's okay. But it's a little bit of experimentation, and as with all things, sometimes experiments work, sometimes they don't. But a little bit of patience goes a long way. Both legs in front of you. Lift your chest up nice and tall and start to just walk yourself down your legs. Just in a regular forward fold, I think sometimes I feel crunched if I just fold and do nothing else. So I like to kind of do a little bit of walk backs My left foot is very red right now. It's been deprived of blood, and now it's getting that fresh flush. Lift your chest up and then pull wherever you are holding on to. I happen to be holding on to my ankles. If you prefer feet, if you prefer ankles, calves, do your thing for sure. And allow your chest to make its way closer to your toes. Maintain the length in your spine. So for the longest time, for years and years, I would do, the strict hot yoga series, and we did fixed firm quite a bit, which was basically what we did. We did half fixed firm and then half lotus, if some of you did that. But in this hot yoga series, we would do the full fixed firm, which is both legs bent with heels on either side. And we'd always say, and I do believe it, that it would be a good flush because we were depriving blood into our knees, our ankles, that business. And then once we let that go, we'll let it all flush back. And it's a really good way to bring and restore that blood flow. And I kind of believe it. And I feel like in the last few marathons that I've done, the one thing that I will always do, right? Not even like four folds or all this, but the one thing that I will always do is fixed firm. And it's an odd one. And I have a friend who's a doctor who's like, that's like totally not good for your knees. But I beg to differ. I think it's great for your knees. But I think, again, that's where the whole experimentation comes into play. Something that might feel good for me might not feel really great for you, and vice versa. So you have to kind of play around with it and determine for yourself, not take what I say as for sure, golden, all that wonderful stuff. Like, you play around and you decide, hey, does this work for me? Does this not work for me? As with like beta, when you're on the wall, right? Somebody's beta might not be my beta. I'm like 5'2", so my beta is a little bit different. I do a lot of like high feet, all that business, which some of you might not need to do just because you're a little bit taller or whatever, wider, whatever it is, right? Than me. So figuring out what your body wants, needs, and can do is very, very helpful. All right, let's gently come up. And we'll just bring ourselves back into our initial cross-legged position, right? Just to slow things down, bring ourselves back, center ourselves back. Hands on your knees, close down your eyes, relax your shoulders down away from your ears. And we're just gonna hang out here for a little bit of time. I'm not even gonna walk you through breath or anything. Spend just a couple of moments without additional visual information to soften your face, soften your brow, your jaw. Relax your neck, your shoulders. Relax your arms through your wrists, all the way down through your fingers. Soften your chest, your belly, your hips, your thighs, fronts, backs, your knees, your calves, your ankles, your feet, heels to toes. Take a full deep inhale, arms go all the way up high toward the ceiling. Exhale, give me a cactus, lift your chest, separate your elbows. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, push it out right, left. Good. Inhale, open your eyes. Thank you guys for making it out today. So good. Oh, deep stretches and deep thoughts. I love that. I don't always have the latter, so thank God this is recorded. So thank you so much for being here. Super fun. And of course, I tried to make it 30 minutes, but we didn't do that. We definitely did the full hour. So that's cool. Thanks for hanging on. I'll see you tomorrow. I think tomorrow we're working at a little bit faster pace. So all right, I'll see you then. Thanks for being here. Have a good night.